more pure than even the common air in which we live.
In announcing his discoveries, Lavoisier made no mention of Priestley's revelations over dinner 6 months earlier.
Priestley's discovery had not yet been published, so in some way Lavoisier was using, I think, privileged information. He does not mention either Priestley or Scheele, and I don't entirely have a good feeling about it. I think he should have given them credit. Now, Priestley is not a shrinking violet here. He hears about this and he objects.
He should have acknowledged that my account over dinner led him to try the experiment. One should not put one's scythe into another man's harvest.
I think Lavoisier does not do too well overall. He tries to somehow take away the discovery from Priestley, or that's my interpretation. And he doesn't answer Scheele's letter at all.
Lavoisier probably wasn't a great colleague in a number of respects. He's well known for not having given a lot of credit to people who did observations that he probably depended on.
I think one would have good reason to censure Lavoisier. One might censure Lavoisier even more had he not gone on to, in fact, develop a new chemistry with this.
I admit I was not the first to do these experiments. That claim goes to Mr. Priestley. But from the results, we have drawn diametrically opposite conclusions. I may be criticized for having borrowed from the work of this celebrated philosopher, but I trust that the originality of my conclusions will not be challenged.
Lavoisier was right. While it was Priestley who made the discovery, and Scheele before him, they continued to cling to the old chemical theory. Only Lavoisier grasped the revolutionary implications of this new gas, oxygen.
What's important here is the realization that this is a new chemical substance.
Trois.
And that's what becomes the core of the new chemistry Lavoisier begins to develop.
Ça marche? Ça marche.
Over the next 15 years, Lavoisier would show that air is not a simple substance, as the ancients believed, but a mixture of two newly discovered gases. That water, too, was a product of two gases, and that fire is not an element, but a process of combining with oxygen. So who discovered oxygen? There's little doubt that Scheele was the first to isolate the gas.
In fact, he made the discovery before Priestley did, possibly as early as 1771.
Unfortunately, Scheele decided to publish his results in a book and waited years for his mentor, the great Swedish chemist Torbern Bergman, to write the preface.
The book doesn't get published till 1777, by which time all the chemists of Europe had already heard about Priestley's and Lavoisier's work.
Priestley was quick to publish about this new gas, but he couched his findings in terms of the prevailing theory of chemistry. That theory was based on the idea that a fiery principle called phlogiston was given up during combustion, and that air was like a sponge that could absorb only so much phlogiston before it became saturated.
At which point the burning will cease because no more phlogiston given off by the burning material can be absorbed by the air.
But flames burned much longer in the new air Priestley had discovered.
Priestley drew the implication that this was air that had so little phlogiston, or maybe none, that it could absorb a great deal indeed.
Hence his name for the gas, dephlogisticated air. What Priestley never understood was the threat his new gas posed to the phlogiston theory. Lavoisier, in contrast, would show that things like burning and rusting could be explained by oxygen alone.
Once you accept the existence of oxygen, the main difficulties of chemistry appear to evaporate. Well, if all of chemistry can be explained without phlogiston, in all likelihood, it doesn't exist.
So it raises an interesting question about what the meaning of scientific discovery is. Who should get credit? Should it be the person who first discovers something earliest, in this case Scheele? Should it be the person who discovers something, publishes on it, but gets the theory wrong, in this case Priestley and dephlogisticated air? Or should it be the person who figures out correctly what the thing is scientifically? In this case, it's Lavoisier and oxygen. This is the theme explored in the play by Karl Gerassi and Roald Hoffmann called Oxygen.
Even if I feel that Lavoisier did not give sufficient credit to Priestley or Scheele, Lavoisier was the only one who understood what was going on. Perhaps he didn't understand perfectly, but the moment that new element, which we call oxygen, was there, he picks it up and he runs with it. It is he who pushes on the science.